Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope everyone is having a great week. Again, we are excited that you are here. If this is your first time, you found us here at TALRadio at talradio.org. Also, check us out on Spotify and Apple and our YouTube channel as well. And again, we want to thank you listeners that have been with us from the beginning or those along the way. Again, we are committed to bringing in subject matter experts in each and every week to help elevate your business and level of influence to the next level. Again, without your input, we're not able to generate new content that's going to meet you where you're at, because we are all about turning challenges into opportunities and then from opportunities into results. So feel free to reach out to us here at chris@christophersalem.com, or anybody on my team will be able to grab that information and make sure that we position future content that meets you where you at going forward. Again, our show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. It takes all the noise out of social media, so no more of those noisy notifications. You get to come in and generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with and what types of content that you'd like to share. Now, this is a membership program, but again, it takes all the nuances and the negativities out of social media that you get elsewhere, and you get to use it to what works best for you. And it also offers a wide array of different services, both on a professional, personal level, not available to the general public. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a special show. We're going to be talking about life on purpose. And what we mean by that is how you could start winning in your money and your career. Yes, we're going to be talking with David Gibbs. David Gibbs is a financial and career coach passionate about helping individuals and families break free from living paycheck to paycheck. With over 6 years of coaching experience, he combines practical strategies with a personal touch to guide his clients towards financial stability, career growth, and purposeful living. Throughout his coaching services, David empowers people to achieve their goals, build wealth, and create the life they dream of. And we'll make sure to have all David's contact information, which he'll be sharing here later, and in the show notes for you. And without further ado, we welcome David Gibbs to the show. David, how you doing today?
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. It all sounds so cool in your amazing announcer voice that you have, Chris. I'm like, wow, I need to hire this David guy. He sounds so cool. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. It's such a pleasure. And, David, this is such a great topic, and, it's so fitting for the time that, what we're in 2025. And, there's so many uncertainties. There's always been uncertainties in the world. And now more than ever, we just feel like, hey, where is my career? Where is my life going and my finances? And a lot of times people feel like that's beyond their control. Can you talk a little bit about, before you get into talking about how you help people, we always like to get like your personal story, like anything that you could share that led you up to why you do what you do today to help people in this area.
Yeah, I mean, the basics of it is I grew up with, in a great family, but there wasn't a lot of financial education that my parents had, and they did not pass a lot of financial education to me. And so I saw them go through bankruptcy. When I was 18, a childhood home couldn't handle it anymore because my dad had lost his job and had to move and things like that. So seeing that and the pain it caused me, I don't want anybody else to go through that again.
Yeah.
So all I knew starting out was whatever that is, I don't want to go that direction.
Yes.
And so when it came to starting my own family, I started dating my wife. And second date, I said, so how much debt do you have?
That's a good screener.
And I would say, living on purpose that's okay to ask those questions when you're dating.
No, it is. Absolutely. I second that.
Yeah, and what my wife loved about that is she was like, "Oh, this is a serious guy, you know, who actually is not here to play games and wants to, you know, do this." So I knew I liked her, and she bought a brand new car 1 month before she met me. So just financed up the wazoo. I was like, ah. And so I was like, well, she's pretty cute. Maybe I can kind of start teaching her to budget. So I had just started finding out about, you know, how to do all that stuff myself. But she thought I was so cute. She started making a budget. And because I was like, how much can we get paid off before it's mine too?
Yeah, oh my
And
God.
so I ended up marrying her exactly 1 year later from the day that we met. So I don't have to remember anything. It's fantastic. I didn't plan it at the time, I promise. And then it took us about 3.5 years to get out of student loan debt, car loan debt, all the usual things that everybody has. And we ended up doing that about a month before my firstborn was born. And then it was that summer that it just happened over and over again, where I would get into these conversations with complete strangers, and then it would end up in them crying and saying, "Oh, thank you so much. I didn't know this. I didn't know that." And so I was like, wow, I've always wanted to help people. I've always leaned towards jobs and positions to help people. This is actually helping people. And the internet must have been listening because a program, Financial Coach Master Training from Ramsey Solutions, kept popping up. And I took that, and the rest is history.
That's fabulous. I love, how we people like yourself, you're transparent, genuine, authentic, and how you've taken a personal experience and how that experience in this case, which was deemed negative back then, how you turn this into a positive and helping other people to navigate through that. And I always find the best mentors, coaches, and I guess, yeah, mentors, coaches, how that's where when they can speak from actual experience, nothing better than that. And there's nothing better, theory's theory, but reality is reality. So thank you for sharing that. What would you say, like, when life on purpose? So when I think of life on purpose, I think that, we can't just be operating our lives personally and professionally by just kind of reacting to what is going on around us. We got to be proactive. We got to look at what can we control versus what we can't control. And with what we can control, how do we manage that and use strategy to improve our lives financially, physically, whatever that may be that you'd like to share, and then how to trust the process to what we can't control that is also helping us to move towards what we're aspiring to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to actually one of the things you first said when we started this. You were saying uncertain times, you know, we're in uncertain
Yeah.
times. And I was just thinking, man, in the entire history of the human race, it's been uncertain times. You know, I mean, we're lucky right now that we don't have, some mercenaries can run into our town and kill us all, you know, like
Yeah.
it's always been that way. And so, what I always, talk with my clients about is I say life is going to happen. Let's stop being surprised by it all the time. Christmas comes every single year. Birthdays come every single year. Jobs and things like that, they can come and go sometimes. So, like you were saying, all we can control is what we can control. And that, what I have found, is the tiniest things. For example, this year, my wife and I, we've been very into really honing in on that morning routine, getting those things where we can do those things so that we can be ready for the day, getting our workout, getting our time in prayer and Bible time, spending time with the kids. We've actually, we were blessed to get a piano for Christmas, and we, as a family, me, my wife, and our two kids, we're playing piano every
Oh,
day.
that's great.
And my oldest, he is rocking "Eye of the Tiger" on the piano. He's going perfect. And so,
Bum, 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 bum.
yeah, yeah. And so I just keep getting that all day, every day. So I'm just pumped for January. And so it's those things, those little things that add up. Because when I'm talking to clients about budgeting, one of the big things that they always bring up is, we just spend too much money on going out, right? So when we start, taking the steps back that leads to that, okay, we're too tired to cook. Okay, so we didn't plan for dinner. And then we didn't go to bed last night. We stayed up till midnight because we're working too much to make that money to pay this. So it all, goes back and back and back. And if you can find all those little things to start turning, little tweaks here and there to start doing things on purpose, then your life's going to be a whole lot easier.
Wow, that's fabulous. Love it. Love it. Well, share with us, things that you do, with clients, like in terms of, everyone's got their unique, well, I wouldn't say they're always unique, but they're unique to them. Challenges could be getting out of debt. It can be saving for putting their kids through college, retiring at a certain age, going on, a dream vacation or two, whatever that may be. Walk us through, because you hit on a few things like what you and your wife do with the daily routine, and I'm a big advocate of that. And a lot of times people ask me, why do you do that? What does that have to do with, making more money in your business or accomplishing your goals? I mean, it's a lot. It's kind of like the movie Karate Kid, right? When the old man's got him painting the fence, wax on, wax off. And he's like, what is this for? I didn't sign up to do chores. But these were all things that were teaching him discipline, accountability, and yet they were all the same motions in karate, not realizing what he was doing, like with the up, down, being focused, wax on, wax off, these are all, and it all made sense. So share with us that, because I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, that actually brings up a painful memory, my friend, trying to catch a fly with some chopsticks. I've always wanted to do that, and I've never been able to. Um, you know, and like you were saying, I would say, going back to, the core of where I start with every single client when it comes to career, when it comes to anything, it's understanding the vision for your life. Because so many folks, just budgeting, for example, they'll say, oh, I don't want anybody telling me what to do, and that budget's telling me what to do with my money. It's like, so I turn it around on them because say, hey, this is a thing I do with all of my clients. Go sit down, take some quiet time, and write down in high definition what you want your life to look like. And I do, and I love doing it with couples, have them go off separately and then come back, make a date out of it, and share with each other. Sometimes they find out stuff they didn't even know. And then we write that together, we put it up on the wall. And when you're going to your budget, it's not oh, we're bad, we can't do this, we can't do that. It's no, this is now a puzzle piece getting us to the vision that we say we want. So it's not your coach telling you what to do. It's not Dave Ramsey or Tony Robbins or anybody else. It's you yourself saying, I want this really bad, and I'm going to take this one step to keep going that way. So that's really, I would say, the unique core that everybody needs to start with, because we have so many, things pushing us, and parents, you should get this job. So many things in our lives, but it's not going to work unless it becomes relevant to you and comes from you.
That's true. So true. So true. And then, a lot of these things that when you bark on a life on purpose, David, it's not like you're gonna be able to get all of these things done immediately, right? Like it's like habits, right? You can't. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna do all these things, and it. You start with one and then you build another in, and it comes in time through that discipline and consistency. What would you reckon? What does it start with that you feel gets people to start really making that shift? Like where they were, the things that maybe have got them into debt or living paycheck to paycheck, and now changing that whole way of thinking.
Yeah. Well, I think of it, there are some core things that we need, right? In Ramsey talks about, the four walls, our housing, our clothing, our transportation, our food. You have to start with those core things. So when I'm talking to my clients, we need to make sure we're getting enough sleep every single night. That's one, because so many, if I don't get enough sleep, I am cranky. I don't want to get all my work done. I'm not as good at work, so I'm not getting promotions. I'm spending extra money on energy drinks and food to try and make it through the day, And so that is already number one. And then, you think about how everything, is a symptom of everything else going on. So then we think about our physicality, what are we doing to take care of ourselves and get ourselves moving? But then within all of that, you always run into boundaries. And folks have a lot of trouble with that of, well, I can't do any of those things and I can't get sleep because of this and this. I have to do this for my mother-in-law. I have to do this. I have to give this money to my family or I'm going to be a bad brother. And it's those things that if we keep pouring into others all of our resources, time, money, whatever, your energy, you're not going to have anything left to take care of yourself. And then you have a blind leading the blind situation.
Yeah, yeah, so true, so true. Wow, great insights. And walk us through a little bit. Maybe even sharing a story. It could be yours, or it could be someone you've worked with. Like where they made this transition, and I'm sure there was bumps along the road, as there always is, and then how they, by making the shift, like what they become as part of it. Because I guess that life on purpose is also what you become as part of that experience and process.
Yeah. And that's great that you bring that up because, that's one of the big mindset shifts that I think is helpful to people that instead of just goals, you visualize, I want to be, this kind of person. I want to be a great dad. All right, now write down a list. What does it mean to do that? And that's always, helpful to people to get those things going. One of my favorite stories, I had this client and she called me up. She said, David, should I declare bankruptcy or start being coached by you? And I was like, well, I don't really want that responsibility, but, we'll do the best we can. And we were working on that for a few years. I don't know, I don't remember exactly. It was a long time. It was a few years. And it was working on the tiny things, when we were talking about meal prep, we were talking about boundaries with the kids. She had 6 kids. And so there was a lot of scheduling difficulties and getting everybody different places and, kids of all different ages, who's taking care of her. So, it was teaching her and then making it her own, all those little things. Because I'll tell you, as a coach, my overall job is to help them find the blind spots and then show them the options. Because, I don't want to say just do it my way because it has to be, we're all different people. We all, have different wants and dreams. And so what I always try to do when they say, I have this pain point, I try to give them 3 options. You could go this way and could happen. You can go this way and this may happen. You can go this way. And I will say this one's my favorite, but you don't have to. I'm not going to be mad at you. And that's where I think in the baby steps, in the doing things on purpose, I as a coach have to meet them exactly where they're at and then help them discover it for themselves. Throw in some blind spots, give some guidance when they ask for it. But, I can't go in there with a giant list of you should and shouldn't and should and shouldn't, because then that's taking away them being the hero. And, so starting with that vision and then taking the little steps to start going that way. And then I show them the way. I shine a light.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Great stuff. Thank you for sharing that.
And actually,
And
real quick, that
yeah,
lady,
yeah, please share. Yeah.
she ended up getting completely out of debt, and I got to see her with her 6 kids at Ramsey Solutions doing her debt-free screen.
Oh, that's
Have
fabulous.
to be there. So she did it one little piece at a time.
Well, like I said, when you see when people, have done it and they can be the example and now they can be resourceful through their own experience. They can be resourceful to how they communicate it to other people, their behavior, their attitude, their emotions, and their actions. That speaks volumes. And no, I love to hear. We love hearing those types of stories here
And what
on
I
Business Influencers.
Yeah. And what I want everybody to remember too is when you're in a challenging time, whether it be a career or finances or anything like that, it's okay to bring your kids along. We don't need to hide this stuff from our kids. This is teachable moments, showing them that, I made some mistakes. I'm in this pain right now, but here's the adult things that I'm doing to go through it. That is going to teach them way better than here, read this book and do what it says or Google it. Them being able to see what you do, don't take that away from them. That's a good thing. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. You're being a good parent by showing them what you're doing.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that transparency, again, being the example through how you communicate, your behavior, all of those in sync, I mean, are powerful. how it can impact in this case, your children to, grow up, hopefully now to do something similar that's going to, get them off on the right foot and not go into debt and do all the things that maybe perhaps early on that you had experienced.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's what a great leader does. And no, fabulous with that. And no doubt. What would you recommend? Like, like people, everyone processes things differently in terms of, if I'm thinking of a life on purpose, we got to have a plan. We got to be able to strategize. Not everybody's going to do it the same way. Like, is there, is there any insights you could share with us, like what works really well? And, obviously, it's going to be different for different types of people.
Yeah, well, the steps to get there vary, I mean,
Yes.
some clients love to, burn everything, sell everything, work 24/7. And then I have some clients, I had an email from a client who will hopefully be connecting with me soon, but they were like, we do not want to live on rice, and so it all goes back to that vision. I always say your reason why should make you cry. It's something you're fighting for. It's something you're doing. So it's up to you. It's your life. How quickly do I want to get there? On the financial side, it's all based on how quickly you want to get there. If you want to, go scorched earth, you'll get there faster. If you don't, you won't get there as fast. As long as you're okay with that, if that's the vision of life you want, to not do this so hard, that's okay. And on the career side, a lot of folks, they just find themselves. I mean, for example, I'll even share myself. I wanted to marry my wife, so I needed to go get a big boy job, and I ended up working for a library, and because they were just the first people who called. Because my degree's in criminal justice, I thought I was going to be a cop, and then I was like, wow, I really don't want to do that. But I wanted to marry my wife, and I couldn't just be a server at Red Lobster forever. So the library called, and I ended up just being good at that. Now, it was cool because I learned a lot about what I love and customer service and helping people. So I learned that there, but that wasn't necessarily the place I wanted to be. And so I always encourage folks that, when you are looking for a job, first, you need to find out who you are. You need to find out, and this is for financial and job, the vision of
Yes.
what you want in life, the rules that you have in your lives. I mean, you're not going to be happy in a job in a job that where it's an all-night job, but you hate working all night. Like you have to have these ideas. You can't just go into on purpose. I mean, not on purpose. And so when folks, don't have those things written down, and then they're possibly even stressed by money, they ended up in bad situations. So you have to have that vision guiding you and those boundaries for yourself when you're choosing any of these paths.
Wow, that's great. Great advice, and especially on the career front. And and you demonstrated like how you majored in one thing. You worked to do something of the Red Lobster thing just to kind of at the time you did what you had to
And that
do
was
to
my
make
college job.
college jobs. Yeah, but they're all great things that build you up to where it led you now to the library, then eventually into what you do in finding, working with people with financial strategies to create the life they on purpose, and then also how they navigate their careers and
Yeah.
so on.
My
So
my personal theme was helping people. I just want to help people. So what way can I do that? And then that's what I found. And I think, yeah, if you can find what you're good at and your theme and what you want to do, then that's great. But then from that point, now it's building relationships. If you see a job go that you like, or a company that you like, research, talk to someone already working there in your position, learn what's going on, and also think about because I used to be in the hiring when it came at the library as well, and when the folks came in and said, oh yeah, I like reading books, can I have a job? That's not that great. But when you come in and you're actually interviewing the interviewers and have knowledge of the company and the position, that's going to get you a lot farther.
yeah, it's so true. So true. Wow, this has really been impactful, David. I know we're getting near the end of the show, and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to be here with us today. I would like to, leave this next minute or so to let people know, how can they reach you? How can they get in contact with you? What are you up to? And anything that you would like to share or provide them?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the one thing I just want everybody to remember, and you should just all go do this right now, go and write down what your vision is for the future. One of my favorite examples from one of my clients is she said, I want to wake up in the morning and I want to see a goat staring at me through the window. And that's because she wanted a farm and she wanted money to do that. So think about it in high definition. And that is the beginning of your career, of your finances. Bring it from there and take the steps from there, from that point. I think, Chris, you have all my links there. You can find me on Facebook, Google, Instagram. I'm all over the place, Coach David, and I can't wait to talk to everybody.
Awesome. And we highly encourage everybody, again, take advantage of reach out to David in the show notes. It'll have his website there at coach-david-mailchimpsites.com.
Yep.
And then you have you got him on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Again, make sure to reach out and connect with him. Great guy and great somebody that could definitely help you where you are moving forward. So, David, thank you again for taking the time to be with us here today.
Yeah, it was an honor. I can't wait to be back.
Yes, yes. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers here with TALRadio, part of the Touch of Life Foundation. Again, we are committed to bringing in subject matter experts like David in each and every week to share their words of wisdom, insights, and personal experience to help elevate your business and your level of influence to the next level. Till then, everybody, we want to wish everybody a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.